What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by CritiX.com, place where we talk about the movies, the television, and the pop culture. And if you're into that thing, make sure you hit the subscribe key and the notification bell so we could be up to speed about everything that we talk about here. Now, listen, I didn't waste no time. I brought my man in early because you already know my man Gene is in the building with me. It's time to talk about Bel-Air, guys. It's time to talk about episode 9. You can't knock the hustle. You cannot knock the hustle. And I said this before. I still, you might have seen this better than I have. I don't know where the correlation, like the name of the episode fits the story. I still haven't found it yet, and I've watched it multiple times. So if you see something that I definitely don't see, please, brother, let me know, because I still don't know where the title kind of matches the story that we're watching.
Well, I think first off, fantastic episode. Let's start there.
Yeah,
phenomenal episode. Like episode 8 hit. It's time to go. Like we're full in now.
Yep.
But I think if you're thinking about the hustle, think back to what the judge said to Philip. You can't take the high road in politics. The hustle is what you have to do in order to get to that level, right? Okay. So we see, and because we're going to get into it, one person is willing to do what's necessary, one person not willing to do what's necessary. That's the hustle. I think Jeffrey said something really awesome when he said, I've sat and watched you reach every goal that you've ever put out there, and the finish line just keeps getting further and further away.
Oh yeah, when he's talking to Phil, right?
That's the hustle. The hustle never stops, right?
Yeah.
It's always it's always a different thing. So to me, when they're talking about the hustle, I think they're talking about this is how politics works. This is the hustle is the politics, right? We always joke. Why would anybody ever spend millions of dollars to do a job that they only make thousands of dollars at if they didn't know that there was a way to get that money back on the back end? That's a hustle.
So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe it was something that was like collective. Like I was looking for there's always like an underlying message, and I was looking for the collective meaning. Maybe it wasn't just about one person, but maybe about everybody, or like an interweaving plot line that I just didn't see. I just didn't see it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I understand that perspective, and I respect that, because I get what you're saying. But I think that it was more. I don't think it was just about one person, and so for me, it was a struggle trying to figure out where they were trying to go with that. But yeah, even William. What up, William?
Talk to the writers when we get the writers on, and we talk to the writers. We're gonna ask them these questions.
Yeah, William says he's agreeing with you. He's thinking about the politics as well. Well, I think they should have named it "Politics as Usual" if you're gonna steal a Jay-Z song,
right? If you're gonna and you still give your homage to hip hop, but
I think they should have said "Politics as Usual." That would have in
the writers' room.
Where we should be. We're not where we should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's get it.
We're gonna be there.
One day.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know, Klep and I, we're going to do something one day. It's coming.
Oh yeah. One day.
We've been talking about it for what, 20 years now.
Right. I mean, some things take time to cook. Sometimes you got to just put it on the burner and let it simmer.
Just let it simmer. Absolutely.
But let's get into this episode 9, man, because listen, it is for me, I think it is a great build up to what's to come in episode 10, which we can't talk about.
I'm really upset you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, listen.
I'm really upset.
This season, it has its ups and it has its downs, and we're going to talk about all of that tonight and next week in full. And I think we might do something special for next week. I don't know, man. Maybe allow bring some of the audience in with us, and we talk about this final episode in the season overall. We should have like a big panel of people, and we just talk about this thing. But maybe we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Especially the guys who've been 10 toes down since you've been doing this thing.
Oh yeah, like my man William. I mean, I know there's gonna be more in here later, but y'all been showing so much love. We gotta give back. So let's talk about episode 9, Cannot the Hustle, and where it opens, which I thought was a really, really dope opening scene. We get to see our man Jeffrey interacting with Will, which is probably one of the better relationships on the show. And I really, really, it was almost like a father-son moment. You get what I mean? Like Will is pondering the favor that he asks of Jeffrey, which happens in episode 8, which caused Jeffrey to kind of go rogue. You know, the way Jeffrey does anyways. He's always going rogue.
It caused him to not resign.
Yeah.
It kept him from resigning first.
Yeah. That's our assumption. It kept him from resigning. Or whatever the hell he was about to put on that desk. What did you think about that moment? You know, when he tells Will, it's like everybody wants to keep this secret from Will. But Jeffrey was the only one man enough to say, listen, this is your decision. He's like, but just know if you open that can of worms, it's gonna really tear the family apart.
Well, okay, so back it up, because I think you jumped ahead a little bit, because the first conversation between Will and Jeffrey, he tells him, listen, this ain't the time.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like,
we're going to church. They're going to church. This is the time for family, but I got you. When I say I got you, right? Yep. And so, like, I think that there's a certain when you said it's like a father-son thing, I think to a certain extent, because the one thing we do know about Jeffrey is that he doesn't have the relationship with his son that he would love to have. And so I think he looks at Will, and probably just because we don't get the storyline a lot, he probably looks at Carlton too, very similar to like sons to him. And
the Banks they're legit his family. They are his family.
That's family, and we're going to talk about that family dynamic too, because I think for me, one of the best moments was Phil and Jeffrey deciding it was time to,
we'll get into that. We will get into that.
Yeah, that was my joint right there. You know how much we love Jeffrey around here. This is a Jeffrey centric pod right here.
So without jumping ahead, because you're right, we are getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the family dynamic. The moment that was a great setup for family between Jeffrey and Will, and then we find out that the entire family is actually going to spend a day at church. It really bugs me. Like, there's things about Phil that bug me, and we're going to talk more about that as we go. But it started to trickle here because it was like, okay, they made this big family thing. Everybody's going to church, but are they all going to church for the right reasons? Like, are they all there for the right reason? I mean, think about it, from Hilary bumping into an influencer and then kind of making it a networking thing, and then Carlton, he didn't even feel comfortable there, and I didn't know the boy could sing. How about that? I didn't know the boy could sing like that. And then Uncle Phil, it felt like he was like, making a political move. Like he wanted to be there to show that he was grounded and down for his people. Although the best part about that whole scene was the Carlton situation, because I felt like he was coming to terms with himself, and the self-doubt and things were kind of playing in his head, and he ended up running off. And they had to share the moment between him and Will, because Will, for once, was confiding in Carlton earlier while they were there. And I don't know. You tell me what did you think about that whole situation while they were in church? Did it feel right? Did it feel a little like, I don't know?
Well, I think, again, we got to keep it in Bel-Air terms, right? So it felt right for what they do.
Okay.
Like get fly, and again, this is black black culture now. You
Yeah.
get fly when you go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Church is a networking opportunity in a lot of communities, not just the black community, but in all communities. Church is a networking thing. Phil is running for office. He does want the support of this church because this is a powerful church. So all of those things can be true at the same time, but also them just going to the church that they would normally go to. Does it hurt that Phil's on the campaign trail kind of and really get it up to this culminating moment of this debate that he's going to have? I mean, it doesn't hurt, but I think when we're talking about church, I mean, that's how people go to church. And by the way, Hilary,
Yo,
Hilary.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like in this episode,
Have
and then the
mercy,
last one, she's really like shining.
Like better than the clothes off, Hilary. Like better than the bra with the fire in her hand, Hilary. Like
she's like really shining.
Yeah, when
shining
she's on her designer's kick, like when she's getting into her designer's bag, she looks sexier there than she did when she was trying to look sexy.
Yeah.
Like,
but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was good. It was good. Shout out to Hilary on that one.
But my man Will, he's saying, I don't know, he sees the same thing that I saw. He was like, everyone kind of had like a hidden agenda. Like, I hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, it's black culture, and he had to make a political move. But there's things about Phil that rub me the wrong way, and we'll talk more about that. But like, what about baby Ashley? I felt like she was coming off as like the smartest person in the room. Like, they finally let her get a little bit of shine, and when she's talking, she's making some sense. And I feel like, I feel like they've been like holding back on this character, and then all of a sudden they just unleash like this word vomit of knowledge.
That's my problem. That's my problem with it. It's not. Yeah. It's like, is this what she normally does?
Yeah.
Like we don't know. So to just spring it on us now, amongst everything that's going on, it's so wild to me. Like it doesn't make much sense. Like I don't know. I feel bad, and I'm happy they let her rock. I'm happy that they let her, have her moment because she deserves that. But it wasn't enough. They're still kind of flirting around this LGBTQ thing, and like William says, probing and asking questions and trying to figure out what's going on. She senses that there's something up with Ashley, but she's also got all of this other stuff on her brain as well. And so, like throwing this Ashley stuff in there just on a kind of like a throwaway, it doesn't hit the mark that it should. I feel like it should be so much bigger than what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I appreciate what they're doing with the character, but it is a little too late. And I don't like
episode 9.
I miss the baby Ashley cousin Will dynamic that we used to get. I understand it's a different iteration, it's a different thing, but there are a lot of relationships in this thing that are not being explored that would make more sense if they were taking their time. Like we always say, this thing feels a little rushed. Like that big cousin, little cousin relationship between Will and Ashley is something that would have worked so well. Especially with her situation. Like, why wasn't Will the first one that she opened up to? Being that he's an outsider of the family and doesn't know what's going on, or would have no judgment, so to speak. Why would she tell Hilary, who we don't even know if she's close with because they never show them together, but Will is supposed to be the glue, right? The glue. So why wouldn't have Will been the first one that I would have probably understood that. You keep saying that.
I'm going back to it. Nothing that we've seen has told us this is a Will show other than him squatted down in front of Bel-Air. Like that's about it. Like anything else, nothing has really showed us that this is a Will show. So why do we keep thinking it is? I think we just have to resign ourselves to the fact that Will is just a piece of this entire thing.
Yeah, but you have to say it's a Will show, though. I mean, the first 3 episodes are completely about Will, and then the last 2 episodes are completely about Will. It just, I don't know. It's where we are right now. It's still pretty much a Will story. Like 7, 8, 9, they're all about Will. So it's like I don't believe that it's
Are
not.
they all about Will?
I don't believe that it's not supposed to be a Will story. That's like I hear what you're saying. I don't believe that it's not supposed to be, even though it's not doing a very good job at just being a Will story. I think that the overall goal was for it to be an overall Will story.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I think the don't knock the hustle. Is it comes back. I think we talk about it with what Philip's doing. I think we talk about it with what Jeffrey's job is. I think we even kind of see it with Hilary, and Hilary having to try to like steal her stuff out of the house because she's trying to get everything out. And my man William made a good note about Hilary and her throwing shade at Jazz, on the low kind of gracefully. And I don't think that she threw shade on the low. I think that she gave him a coochie coupon. Like if we really want to keep it a buck, I mean, he says, "Hey, let's go back to my place, and I'll do a little cooking for you." And she's like, "Hey, I got the 5-star. We could just get room service." Well, why are you getting room service for?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Move
listen,
on.
I'm a huge fan of where Hilary and Jazz are. I know it's different. I know it's completely different from what we're used to, but I dig it. I don't know why. I like that they're giving Jazz some coolness and
You like
that
the underdog story. Story.
I like it. Like I said, I could go for a Jazz spinoff or a Jeffrey spinoff. Those 2 characters are probably
Jeffrey spinoff would be dope.
Those 2 characters are probably the best to me, like the most interesting. We don't get enough Jazz, and we definitely don't get enough Jazz and Will. Like I don't understand why
there is no Jazz
like
and Will.
That's not his friend. Like
that's not his homeboy.
It's not Jazz is not Will's friend.
That's not what they do. They just run in similar areas apparently.
Yeah, I don't understand what the dynamic is between, like, there is no Jazz and Will storyline at all. So let's go a little forward, because at that point Jazz and Hilary have, they're trying to still obtain her personal belongings from Kylo. That's his name, Kylo. I can't remember what his name is. They're still trying to do that, but meanwhile, Phil is now dealing with his political run, and man, they're talking about getting dirty now. They're talking about doing some getting into some dirty politics. And yeah, shout out to Cinematic 18. Episode was solid. They just get better and better. I agree. But now Phil is talking about doing some dirty politics now. Like,
he's not talking about it. His campaign manager is.
He's entertaining it.
Well, of course he is.
He's entertaining the situation. And then
he's a winner.
I feel it.
Do whatever you got to do to win.
I feel you. He's a winner, but at the same time, he's entertaining. He's entertaining the thought of doing what he needs to do in order to win. And my man Jeffrey, good man Jeffrey,
good
brother. He comes in, he steps in, and you know what I like about, I hear you, Sean. I hear you. Politics is a dirty business. It is. But another brother tearing down another brother, I don't know. Especially when they're both coming from the same idealistics. Like, it wasn't like one was on and one was off, one was evil, one was good, one was, you know what I mean? Like, they were pretty much both coming from the same ideologies, and like, I don't know. They rubbed each other the wrong way for some dumb shit. It wasn't even nothing that they didn't even talk about yet. But The brother Jeffrey, what I like about him is that he's the great, like, what's the words I'm looking for? Like a great, the angel on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like
He's the conscience. He's
yes,
the
that's
voice of
it.
reason.
That's the word I'm
Voice
looking
of
for. The
reason.
voice of reason, because he doesn't tell Phil what he should do or what he shouldn't do. He like gives him the scenario and say, he kind of puts it in his face and says, you're gonna do what you want to do anyways, but you go left, this will happen. You go right, this will happen. And then Phil is kind of like shunning him off. Like he's not even trying to there's just something about Phil that just bothers me so much. I can't wait to talk about it. We're gonna get into it. But this man, I just want to shake this man because I don't feel like the writers don't know what they want to do with Phil. So you know what?
Disagree.
We're at that
He's
point.
flawed for a reason.
We're at that point. We can talk about this.
Let's go in.
Let's get into it, right? William, he is playing both sides of the coin, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Let me get this off my chest, right?
Okay.
So, Phil, one moment we're getting dark Phil who don't give a fuck, right? And part of my friends, I know YouTube's going to flag me. They're going to flag me, whatever. But 1 minute he don't give a damn, right? And he's doing something as drastic as firing the one man who's been in the family from God knows how long because he just did something he didn't want him to do. And then the next minute, he's sacrificing his career for his family. I'm so confused that, like, was he Father of the Year or is he this dark asshole who, like, he literally, like, and they tried to make it respectable. They tried to make it cool, like, we're going our separate ways. They hold each other close.
Oh my God! Really? That's and then reduce that to.
And then listen. I try to dissect this as many ways as possible. I'm like,
no,
I get it, but dude, you like flew off the handle so bad when Will didn't even read it. Like, I can understand if Will read it and all hell broke loose, but Will was man enough to say, you know what? I made this choice. I don't want to know. I gave it to Phil. Phil could have just chopped that up as, okay, I know you did what you did, or I didn't want you to do it, but thank God the situation is the way it is, and it didn't go any further. But he went as far as firing this man and then lying to his family about it, and then he goes and tries to be the good dad of the year and cancels his whole career so he could be close to them. Like, so I was like,
so back it up.
Just bring it back. Bring me back. Yeah.
Jeffrey tells Will when he gives him the information, listen, I can't tell you what to do or what not to do.
Exactly.
All I can tell you is that what's inside there is going to affect more than just you. It's going to affect this entire family.
Absolutely.
So even in helping Will, he's still looking out for his mans, right? Even in helping Will, he's still looking out for his mans. He's looking out for him because, in essence, he has the family's best interest at heart. He knows that Will deserves to know and deserves to be able to make these decisions for himself, but he also understands the ramifications that it means for Phil and for the rest of the family. So now when you go to Will giving Phil the package, you got to understand that was Jeffrey's influence to give the package.
Yeah, he's indirectly playing the conscience. He's playing the conscience indirectly.
Phil don't know that, and it's not Jeffrey's job to tell him that. Jeffrey wants Phil to be the Phil that he loves. He loves this man, and Phil loves Jeffrey. You want to know how I know?
Oh, we know this
because when Will came to Phil and gave Phil the letter, he was thankful. When Jeffrey hugged this man and told this man, be the Phil that I know you could be, that dude broke down in tears. He sat down in his chair in his desk and started crying. When him and Jeffrey broed it up and hugged it up because they were going their separate ways, they did so with like sadness in their faces. This wasn't him, Big Boss and Jeffrey going, I gotta fire you, you ain't loyal. This was him feeling as if this was the culmination of the relationship based off of what they had built. And even on the way out, Jeffrey still dropped jewels on this dude. If you do this, your family's going to crumble under the weight of your decision.
And I feel like in the heat of the argument, Phil was trying to boss him up, bro. Like he literally was trying to like belittle him. Like, I mean, some words came out. There was some words. There were some words that came out that I'm like, yo, Phil, what are you doing right now?
They both
like
were throwing shots, though.
But the verbal ass whooping that Jeffrey was handing him was well deserved. Everything Jeffrey was saying was checking the boxes, bro. Checking the boxes. Checking the boxes.
You and I, it was well deserved, but we ain't Phil.
Okay,
and everything Phil does is in service to his. Like we can't forget this. Like I feel like somewhere in there, it's making it seem as if these are selfish ambitions of Phil. But everything Phil is doing, he does for the betterment of the family. So I'm not surprised that he got up on stage and gave up his career, which he, by the way, he didn't. He probably actually boosted it by bowing out, because now he looks like a family man. And that plays in the public eye, but we'll get into that at another time. In the situation here, I feel like him bowing out went, okay, now that I know everything that I know that somebody else knows about Will's situation. I know that my wife really wants to take this fellowship, and she won't do it. Like, I think he knows that she won't take it because she doesn't believe he can handle it himself, not with, this DA job, in his lap. And so he sacrifices himself for the betterment of his family. Which is dealing with anxiety. Hillary's dealing with what she's dealing with on the low. Jeffrey already knows what's going on, by the way, with Hilary. Ashley trying to come into her own. So I think he knows that he has to be the one. This time, he has to be the one that falls on the sword. And that's why he tells Viv, hey, man, promise me you're taking this fellowship. He makes a promise.
Yeah. And that was really dope. And we got to talk about that as well. And shout out to Sean. He agrees with you. He's saying that, Phil proves what type of man he really is in this episode, which I got a lot. I can't lie. I was on the fence. I didn't know clearly. And so I'm hearing what you're saying. I didn't know clearly of where I thought they were trying to do with him. Like, I didn't feel like 1 minute he's like dark and he's secretive and he's got these secrets. And then the next minute he's father of the year. And it's just like, dude, like, I don't know. But let's talk about the super cameo, though, right? I know you don't talk about. We got Vernee Watson comes through, and then Daphne. What's Daphne? What's the mom's name? Daphne.
You're talking about light skin Viv, right? No.
Daphne Reed. Daphne Reed. Daphne Reed and Vernee Watson, who played light skin Viv on the show, and Will's mom on the show, make a super cameo in the right moment as well too. I thought that was a perfect role. Perfect role for them. When Viv is trying to get this fellowship, and I kind of like this moment because this was a defining moment for Viv's character to really step out of the house mother role and find herself on her own. And remember when she makes the call and they're like, listen, there's a reason why we tell our candidates, they have a whole full 24 hours, because we want you to really, really think about this opportunity, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and
And
Phil.
before we jump more into that, though,
Yeah.
only thing that would have made the super cameo better
Go ahead.
is if both Vivs would have been those ladies. I feel like that would have been an all Viv moment, right?
I think I would have went for all three. I think all three should have been involved in it.
And on top of that, that would have been a solid done by Will, who admitted he did some shady stuff in how things went down with him on the Fresh Prince, and making amends with what is her name? I want to make sure I get the actress name correct, because I can't think of it right now.
For
Janet Hubert.
Oh yeah, the original.
So like, if you'd have had the first Aunt Viv there, and then the second Aunt Viv there, and now this iteration of Aunt Viv, I think that would have been such a dope moment. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought the moment was dope regardless. To have both of them there, but I thought that would have been the even. Like they hit the three. I think that would have been the three with the and one if they had made both Viv. But that's the 4 point.
Yeah. I think that would have been better for that scene as well. But they still nailed it. Anyway, and I thought, like I said, I loved that part. That dynamic was really, 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 really dope. And I think I actually think that part happened before the whole Jeffrey and Phil falling out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so we kind of
absolutely.
skipped it, but we had to talk about that because that moment was probably like one of the better moments in the episode. But so one more big shocking reveal is Will's secrets get leaked because of all the dirty politics in the game that these gentlemen are trying to play with one another about who should, win district attorney. So I was lost on this. Now the judge that was endorsing Lisa's dad, was that the one that helped out Phil? That was the same judge that helped Phil. So it was one of his fraternity guys who helped Phil. That guy was one of his fraternity guys.
I think they had a falling out.
Yeah.
Because Phil didn't want to play by the rules that he had. This is where he said you can't take the high road and be in politics. Yeah. So as payback, he told the cop. He told the cop the secret. Which, by the way, if you think about, doesn't make sense, because if if he comes and he tells the secret, he is telling on Phil, but he's also telling on the judge. So to me, if I'm Phil, I don't know why he didn't call a bluff. Like, yo, I know you got the secret in the tuck. Guess what I got in the tuck? I know that you was humping your new girl while your ex-wife was going through dying. Yeah. So I think if he'd have went to him and said, listen, this is what it is, you can say that if you want, but if you let this out, you're not only implementing me, you're implementing judge whatever as well. He could have manipulated the situation. It wouldn't have been as dope to me, because I think him falling on the sword was a dope thing to do. But I thought about that moment and I'm like, okay. But my issue, and we were talking about this before the show started, I don't know why Will keeps acting guilty.
Yeah, man. Listen,
this is what's bothering me. Dude, you didn't do anything wrong.
So this is a trope.
You went and busted somebody's ass in basketball. That's what you did. That's what you did. And they got salty. They started trying to feel themselves. The dude threw the ball and hit his homeboy in the head. His homeboy the drug dealer just wanted a reason to set it off because he was mad he just lost racks. Yeah. And so now, your man's getting beat up by 5 and 6 dudes. You gonna just let him sit there and get his butt whooped, or you gonna do something? So you pull out the piece, he shoot it in the air. That's what you're supposed to do. Like,
so
where he's
so
from, that makes perfect sense to me. That's not somebody doing something wrong. So the fact that he keeps on like looking all sad and depressed with his hat in hand, like he did something wrong, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
This is I listen, this is a trope that's in a lot of television and movies that I am not a fan of. I hate, and I mean absolutely hate, when two characters, one is caught in an act that they have done, and someone else is confronting them about it, and they're wrong, like flat out wrong about the situation, and then they don't speak up to tell their part or tell their truth. That's in like every romantic comedy. That's in like every teen movie. That's like in any. If I didn't do something wrong, I know it's for dramatic effect. I get it. It's part of the writing. But listen, Lisa's pissed off at Will for not coming out and telling her his secret about why he's there for numerous reasons, multiple reasons. Even Carlton's trying to get his back, and she's not trying to hear it and trying to throw a tantrum. And he's not speaking up and telling her what happened. He's just answering the questions as they're being asked. So she says, "Did you shoot someone?" He says, "No, I shot in the air." Okay, finish the story, bro. Like,
that's
finish.
Like, tell the entire story. Why are you only just? I thought you said I'm gonna tell you everything.
He's not telling her.
I'll tell you everything, and then he doesn't tell her anything.
Barely anything. All he's doing is answering her one-sided questions. Did you have a gun? Yes.
Here's how easy it is to tell the story. Hey, you know, me and my homeboy, we were at the park playing ball with some drug dealers. They played me for some money. I knew I could beat their ass, so I'm like, cool, I'm down. We beat them. They salty. The dude, things get out of hand. They start trying to beat up my man. Mm-hmm. I see a gun. I'm trying to get 5 and 6 dudes off my man's head. I shoot the gun in the air. The police come and they arrest me. Uncle Phil did me a solid, got me out of jail because if he didn't, and brought me to Bel-Air because if he didn't, not only would I either be in jail, but I'd be dead because the drug dealer that was beating up my homeboys is looking for me, trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Period.
Right? I don't understand. Period. That was less than a minute. Right?
Yeah, and I don't even think she got the full story, even from what he told. Like, she still don't know. She left there not knowing what happened. And I don't even think it's worth getting mad about. Like,
it's not bad at all.
You would have never met this guy had Uncle Phil not saved his life, right? And you appeared to be happy. I don't understand.
Not be getting this good beat up and this good happy if it wasn't for my Uncle Phil getting me out of the clink. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Yeah, that part right there, to me, I just don't understand. I did, however, like that, you know, Carlton stepped up. I like that they're like kind of buddying up. You know, him and Will, they're getting that relationship that we're kind of used to seeing. Now I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't like that whole ending and her storming out of there like Will done did her wrong and, you know, stole something from her. And then she brought up the whole sex thing, and I'm like, but you're like smashing the homies. Like, what are you talking about?
I told you, man, it's something about her. I'm not really like rock with. Like, Will has been holding you down since he met you. You keep saying that you've been taking stuff. He's been holding you down since he met you.
Yeah.
And this is how you react because you heard that he. You know what? How about this? So what if I did get arrested? So what if I did? So what if I did do all of the stuff that people think I did?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with who I am right now? And see, this is the part that we don't talk about with the culture, right? Just the mere mugshot eliminates a black man from so many things. You know, I know this personally. Just the mere mugshot. It doesn't matter what the circumstances were. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Just the fact that that man has a mugshot by him allows people to question who he is as a person.
Yeah, and he should have spoken up. Like,
you gotta talk, man.
Yeah,
I don't ever waste the opportunity to tell my story.
Yeah,
I need people to know. Like, you ain't finna just assume whatever about me.
And then
you can make your judgment once you hear me say my piece.
Yeah, I just thought that whole scene was just too forced. Like, because even when Carlton stepped in, I think Lisa would have been like, well, if Carlton's stepping in to defend him, maybe I should hear it out. But it was just like,
man, she shut Carlton's ass down so quick.
Like, yo,
Carlton, shut up.
She's like, shut up. Like, yo, she didn't even let Carlton get a word in. He was like, it's not like that. Carlton, shut up. I'm like, damn, Lisa.
I'm like,
yeah.
We both know what your game like. Be quiet and listen. You damn hussy. Like, come on.
Hold up, though. My man Anthony is saying she didn't have the context and he lied, so I understood her feelings. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Anthony, but like, as hard as they was riding for one another, most girls, even when the guys does wrong, it's never like, I'm good, leave me alone, I'm out.
They're never out.
Like, it's never like, leave me alone, I'm out. There's always like why you did that? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
and think about it, this ain't even him cheating on her.
Yeah,
it's not like he cheated on her. It's not like he did something that would negatively affect her. This man went to jail because he almost got killed. What we talking about? Like,
yeah, man, but shame on Will though, because like you said, he didn't speak up.
You gotta tell her.
Yeah, I actually got it playing in the background right now, and that scene is on right now. She's like holding up the mugshot, and it's like, bro, please, I can't even watch this scene because it gives me anxiety that he's not speaking up.
Does it or does it not? Like, it gives me anxiety. The mugshot jumps up, and the first thing he does is, do what you're ashamed about.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna shame me about something that was done to me.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna make me feel bad about that.
But the you know what's cool, and I hope that we get a different like another episode that kind of really hones in on that emotion with Will, because at some point he's got to face it. Like, maybe he'll go to therapy or something. Like, I want to see some real like trauma, because remember in the beginning they were giving us like flashbacks and traumatic moments whenever he would come close to something that resembled what he went through. Like, that whole mental health aspect of being accused, being thrown to the ground, being arrested unlawfully, wrongfully. Like, they should really tune in on that and really express that and show that, because there's a lot of brothers out there that need to see that. You know what I mean? And I think this would be a perfect avenue to really explain why, when she showed him the mugshot, his first instinct was to be ashamed, to put his head down, to be like, helpless. He didn't even know how to express himself, like, and I think that's just something that's important and just needs to be shown. Like, I think they need to hone in on why he's feeling that way, or why he's feeling less than for some shit that he didn't even do.
Or they can do like they've been trying to do. They can do the antithesis of that. Not be ashamed or like depressed or emotional about something, because that's not who you are. Like, to me, that was a real triggering moment, because it's like, that's how they get us.
Yeah.
That's how we're done. Even if there was a transgression, you have one transgression, that mugshot hits, and then that's all that people know of you.
Yeah.
That's all they used to I didn't like it. And I didn't like it in terms of I just don't like that, looking at the story as a story.
And you know what else is interesting is that the only people that are looking down on him because of his past are his own people.
That's it.
Everyone he's come in contact with that knows the truth about him has been treating him like he's not worthy of being where he is. Her dad, Lisa's dad, is like, he's not worthy of being with you. He's trouble. Carlton, the judges, everyone of his own people have been treating him like that, which is going to be very, very interesting when all of you see episode 10. And I can't wait to talk about that with you guys. Listen, because it's about, we're gonna wrap this up, so I gotta wrap it up with, first I want to say that this episode I thought was pretty dope. I like that we got a lot more of Ashley. I love that we saw a little bit more of the dynamic between Hilary and Jazz. I love the stuff with Will and Carlton because it's gonna play so nicely.
You think let Jazz
I'm not gonna comment on that. For many reasons. But I will. And I'm just gonna say my least favorite things about this episode was Phil and probably just Phil. Everything else was good for me. I liked everything. And I didn't like the interaction between Lisa and Will. Someone get rid of Lisa. Like, I really could care less.
I told you I'm not no Lisa dude, man. Get her out of here.
Yeah, she's
out of here. Yo, so I'll say for me, I feel like this episode was showing. I feel like this episode. I just watched the comments over here.
Yeah, no, no comments.
Is showing like true male love. Like a lot of true male love. You got the love between Carlton and Will. You got the love between Jeffrey and Phil. You got Phil's love for Carlton and Will. You got Jeffrey's love for Carlton and Will. Like, there was a lot of male love in here. Like, yo, we can be better than this. Like, we can show these emotions. We can be emotional about things because that's in us as a man. It doesn't make you less of a man to be emotional, to tell somebody that you love them or another man that you love them, or to show love in that way. The reason that Phil and Jeffrey ended the way that they ended, and I don't think it's over, but the reason that they ended the way they ended is because they have love for each other. If they didn't give a damn about each other, that probably would have came to blows.
Yeah.
But both of them understand that the other person's right.
Yeah, so, it was like one of those things where it's like, I hate that he's right. I hate that I know he's right. Yeah.
So I'm mad at you because you brought it up, but at the same time, I get it, my guy. We got to part ways for right now. Let's do it respectfully. Like, even on the way out, the fact that Jeffrey looks out for him, you can't just get rid of me. It's going to look bad. All right, cool. We'll say that it was blah, 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 blah. Cool. Handshake. Hug. Like, long hug. And then both of them in tears. That, to me, that's the dopeness of the episode. Them being able to show that level of emotion, and then Phil rising to the level that Jeffrey always believed he was capable of being. Those words ring hard with me. He said, "Hey, be the man that I know you can." Something to that. Don't quote me on it, but I'm not. Be the man that I know you can be. And he
Jeffrey is always coming through with the gems, man. Like, he's the best
Jeffrey.
Good
brother.
But we cannot ignore that Jeffrey no more. I mean, his ass got fired at the end of this episode, and no one knows where the hell Jeffrey is in this episode.
Yeah, but did he? Did he really?
No comments, man. I can't say nothing.
Did he really? I don't need you for this. It don't make. He's one of the best characters. There's no way they got rid of him right now.
Listen,
he ain't gone.
As we wrap this episode of the Bel-Air recap and live discussion, I just want to let you guys know, make sure you tune in not only to our next live discussion, but tune into my pre-live discussion when I drop my non-spoiler review for episode 10. And I'm going to drop it a lot sooner than I normally drop it, just so you have that whole week to let it sink into your head about what's about to go down. No spoilers.
Anthony Rashad said he's never seen such a peaceful firing.
Right? They gave me
wild in the comments, yo.
We should all wish to depart from our jobs that way. You look your boss right in the eye. Look at your boss right in the eye and give them a Dutch and Dylan shake from Predator.
and a hug with it. Yo, that was
like so yeah, guys, like I said, tune in. Maybe Monday I think I'm gonna drop that review, non-spoiler review for episode 10. And then next Thursday we will come together as one family and talk about the craziness that we are all going to witness on Thursday when that episode drops. You know, my man Gene, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Let them know where they can find you. Oh, did my man just freeze on me?
Oh, I froze. Am I back?
There we
back.
Go.
Yeah,
you back.
Check me out everywhere that you can that you're on social media at Gene Clemens. Also, make sure if you like sports, follow that YouTube channel, Coach Gene Clemens. Talk Spicy Monday through Friday. You can catch that on Spotify. I may even start uploading the video for that on the Spotify since I got the new link up to be able to do the video on Spotify as well. But if you want to see the videos, you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook, and you can find them on the YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing y'all on episode 10. It's been a blast.
And as always, guys, you can find your boy Klep everywhere. I'm across all social media platforms under Klepcx. I keep it simple so you can find me everywhere. So if you're on that social media, I'm there. Find me. Follow me. And also, for more movie news and television news and pop culture, check out wearecritics.com with an X, wearecritics.com. And again, shout out to my man Anthony. Shout out to my man William. Always here. First one in the chat. I've seen
First one in, last one out.
I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that spent time with us tonight. I'm promising you, yo, come chill with us next week. It's gonna be a blast.
Kiana Marie, come in a little bit earlier. We want to hear the girls' side. We want to hear what the ladies got to say about it.
Yeah, because we be beating up Lisa verbally up on here.
We be on Lisa. We're on Lisa's head.
But everybody's perspective is important. You know, it's all about perspective. Not one person's opinion is bigger than the other. We do this so that everybody can just talk their piece. No arguments, no fighting, no bull. It's just about the love of film, television, and we just like to have fun and talk about it. So again, guys, check us out next week, next Thursday, 9:15 p.m. Eastern, live here on Klepcx. And we'll talk to you all later. Peace.